In tonight's headlines, Chief Executive John Lee focused on improving Hong Kong's economy during his second town hall meeting ahead of his upcoming policy address. At the meeting in Mong Kok, Lee stressed that the government's policy making is centered around people, but a proactive participation is needed from the people to achieve the required results. And senior citizens have mixed reactions as they start using their new JoyYou Cards today to enjoy the $2 concessionary fare scheme. Chief Executive John Lee held a second town hall meeting at a school in Mong Kok to gather views and opinions from residents ahead of his policy address in October. Chief Secretary for Administration Eric Chan, Finance Minister Paul Chan, and Secretary for Justice Paul Lam were also present at the meeting. Around 120 residents from diverse backgrounds attended the televised two-hour event, raising questions on the economy, social welfare, tourism, sports and technology. In the summary, Lee said that the positive trend of economic growth in the city has continued, and he is optimistic about the interest rate cuts by the U.S. Federal Reserve. However, Lee acknowledged that some business sectors are currently facing challenges during the transition period, as economic growth gains momentum slowly and the government will take measures to help. Lee also highlighted constraints in the social welfare and manpower sector, stressing the necessity of allocating resources effectively. Furthermore, the city's leader emphasized three key points in tourism, sports, and innovation. He called for collaboration from all sectors, such as designing the most attractive tourist routes by local people, investing a lot of resources in sports, and promoting the activities by enterprises. Lee added that the consultation process showed residents loved Hong Kong and had confidence in the city, adding that people were willing to support local development. He stressed that the pursuit of innovation and technology is a continuous competitive effort, stating there is no best, only better, highlighting the need for ongoing improvement and collective engagement.
Chief Executive John Lee was asked questions by representatives from different sectors, highlighting the challenges they faced and what support they wanted from the government, including propping up the retail industry and providing more support for the social welfare sector. This woman who works in the retail sector proposed expanding the multiple entry visa scheme for Shenzhen residents to attract more mainland tourists to Hong Kong.
可以考慮派發本地嘅消費券。
She also urged the government to distribute consumer vouchers as a means to stimulate economic consumption, adding it will also help boost residents' sense of happiness and belonging. In response, the CE acknowledged that the administration's policy will cover such sectors to attract people, and he promised to discuss with the central government for ways to realize it. Concerns were also raised to strengthen support for local small and medium-sized enterprises.
希望嗰個 BR 嘅費用咧可以有個寬免啦。
This businessman asked if the government can waive or subsidize business registration fees and reinstate the 100% loan guarantee scheme to help the SMEs.
個別行業去適應呢個轉型期同埋洗牌期咧。
Lee responded that the government will spare no effort to help businesses to survive the transition to full economic recovery and sustain local growth. He also reiterated that the overall economic momentum of Hong Kong is positive, with the total number of companies registered in the city reaching a new high of 1.44 million in the first half of the year. Social welfare issues were also highlighted during the meeting, such as mental health of school children, special educational needs caregivers, support for elderly living alone, and elderly care.
社福嘅問題咧，我哋會不斷努力。
Lee said the government will continue to work hard on social welfare issues as the demand is significant. Acknowledging there are resource constraints, the CE said key areas will be prioritized, such as the personal development of youths. Summing up the meeting, Lee said that most sectors wanted the administration's help to develop policies and allocate more resources, but an all-round participation is required, he added. Quentin Yang, Cable News.
Starting today, the city's senior citizens aged 60 and above are required to use the personalized JoyYou Cards to enjoy the government's $2 public transport concession scheme. At Shangshui Station, the MTR has set up an information kiosk to assist the elderly by distributing application forms and handing out leaflets. MTR staff also explained the application process of the new cards and handled other queries. Passengers aged 65 or above who continue to use the existing elderly and personalized octopus cards to travel on the MTR will have to pay half of the adult fare, while those aged 60 to 64 will need to pay full fare without a JoyYou card. Although many seniors got their JoyYou cards before today's deadline, some say the application process could be simpler. This woman said she was a bit upset because she could not use her octopus watch anymore. She bought it when she turned 65, so it is disappointing that it is outdated now. This man said he was puzzled as to why he had to apply for the new car when he already had the personalized octopus card. To help out further, Octopus has set up 8 temporary application centers across Hong Kong Island, Kowloon, and the New Territories, which will be open until September 8th. The whole process to get the JoyYou card takes about 4 weeks. First-time JoyYou card users are required to have a minimum balance of $50 to activate the $2 concessionary fare. According to the Labor and Welfare Bureau, as of mid-August, 94% of people aged 65 and above have applied for JoyYou card. Evelyn Bai, Cable News. Police arrested 3 men this morning for possession of harmful weapons. At around 8 a.m., a passerby alerted police after noticing about 10 men loitering on Beach Street in Tai Kok Tsui. Responding to the call, officers arrived at the scene and stopped a private car at the junction of Fuk Chun Street and Tai Kok Tsui Road. After searching the vehicle, police found a range of items, including 2 license plates of other cars, plastic rulers, 2 iron rods, and masks. The 3 suspects, aged between 19 and 29, were detained for further investigation.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu ordered preemptive airstrikes against Iran-backed militia group Hezbollah in southern Lebanon. The attacks targeted thousands of rockets, which Netanyahu said were aimed at northern Israel and other parts of the country.
A short while ago, the IDF identified Hezbollah terrorist organization preparing to fire missiles, rockets towards Israeli territory. Israel will not tolerate Hezbollah's attacks on our civilians. We are operating in self-defense from Hezbollah and any other enemy that joins in their attacks against us. And we are ready to do everything we need to defend the people of Israel.
As a precaution, the airport in the main Israeli city of Tel Aviv was closed and planes were diverted to Ramon Airport in the far south. Soon after, Hezbollah announced it had launched an attack on Israel with a large number of rockets and drones as an initial response to the killing of one of the top commanders in a strike in Beirut last month. The attacks came as Egypt hosts a new round of talks aimed at ending Israel's war with Palestinian group Hamas, which is now in its 10th month.
Militant group Islamic State has claimed responsibility for the knife attack in the German city of Solingen, in which 3 people were stabbed to death and 8 others were wounded.
In frühen Morgenstunden gab es eine
Police have arrested the suspected attacker who randomly stabbed passers-by during a festival to celebrate 650 years since the city of Solingen was founded.
Soweit in den Medien bereits von der Festnahme eines
A state interior ministry spokesman confirmed that the man had turned himself in. It is not clear how the attacker was influenced by Islamic State to commit the horrific act, and police have detained 2 other people, including a 15-year-old boy who they think knew about the attack beforehand. Authorities are asking eyewitnesses to come forward and share any relevant information they might have. The claim by Islamic State prompted the police to raid a refugee center, which was used for housing asylum seekers. The building is located just 300 meters from Solingen's central market square, where the attack happened Friday night. A 56-year-old woman and 2 men aged 56 and 67 were the 3 victims who died in the attack. Sachin Katwi, Cable News.
Telegram chief executive Pavel Durov was arrested by French police last night at an airport near Paris. The 39-year-old Franco-Russian billionaire was detained at Le Bourget airport for alleged offenses related to his popular messaging app. French authorities had issued a warrant for Durov's arrest, alleging that his messaging platform did not have efficient guardrails and was used by criminals for illegal activities, including fraud, drug trafficking, cyberbullying, organized crime, and promotion of terrorism. French investigators said they were surprised Durov came to Paris knowing he was a wanted man. Founded in 2013, Telegram has about 900 million active users, making it a major online player alongside Facebook, YouTube, WhatsApp, Instagram, TikTok, and WeChat. Born in Russia, Durov resides in Dubai, in the United Arab Emirates, and holds dual citizenship of the UAE and France. He left his country of birth a decade ago after Russian authorities asked him to shut down opposition communities on his social media platform VKontakte. The Russian embassy in Paris said they are taking immediate steps to assess Durov's arrest, and added they had not received any appeal for help. Defiance against governmental pressures has been a hallmark of Durov's career, making his current legal troubles particularly noteworthy. Durov is expected to appear in court today. Quentin Yang, Cable News.